Hey everybody! You know who this is? It's Karla Silver here. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. For those of you that were on the Facebook training last week, you know, Don and I went to something called the Integratron. And I honestly had no idea if it was going to be totally wacko, woo-woo, alien space invaders, or if it would be totally cool. And it was definitely totally cool. So when you guys come out and visit us, we're thinking of having an event for our all-in folks sometime maybe later this year. We'll all march out to Integratron and have a very, very cool experience. So again, welcome to those of you that are brand new to our tribe here at Project Lifestyle. Glad to have you here. As I go through the information today, please make sure that you put your comments and questions in the chat roll. I think it's on that side, the right-hand side of your screen, or maybe it's that side. It's that side for mine. But anyway, make sure you put your questions. Feel free to ask anything you want. Remember that there is almost a minute delay between what you're hearing or what I've already said this. A minute before you're hearing it. So just remember there's a little bit of delay. And I want to welcome my co-host and partner in crime, my fellow Integratron sound bather, Don Silver.
With a tooth. I have a tooth
Oh.
that I didn't have yesterday.
TMI.
I can too. This is a cool thing. Everybody should know about this and jump up and down and scream for joy.
Yeah.
Yes, it's important stuff. So,
Yeah, well.
you know, we're leading up to the big event before summer. So everybody who's here, actually, I think is going to be there. So we will definitely do a get together somehow. And I think, you know, maybe Tony and John and everybody's got something planned. So we'll see how that works out. In the meantime, make sure you show up with your notepad and your blue pen, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that Dave Wood's going to talk about this weekend that you will want to, you know, make notes of and, you know, engrave in your brain. So.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm sorry, Don, to interrupt you. Go ahead.
That being said, back to the blonde.
Oh, well, I'm even blonder, and my hair's really short. But you guys will see that this weekend. So, okay, so was there anything else I wanted to say before I got going? Today's training is very simple. Most of the work for this training for you guys, you're going to do not during this training. I really wanted to, this is one of the things that you should do at the very beginning of your business. So congratulations, I see a couple new people. Derek, welcome. A couple of new people on the line here today. I also want to say this is also something that you should revisit periodically during your business, and that's really identifying who is that perfect prospect. Because if you don't, it's kind of like saying to somebody, yeah, I want a recipe. And that person has to say for what? And then you say for dinner. And then you say, well, what kind of dinner? And well, I'm having an elegant dinner party. Okay, so what course of the rest? Oh, the main course. Well, poultry, meat, vegan, gluten-free. You see where I'm going here, right? So, you know, well, there's all kinds of ways to aim at a bazillion different people. Like, for example, John's solo ad, John's co-op, is wonderful because you get, especially in the very beginning of your business, you get to literally spray out to a bunch of people. But really, it's very critical that you identify who your perfect prospect is. Now, your perfect prospect isn't always going to be, you're not going to be saying, okay, my perfect prospect is somebody at age 50, male, who carries a briefcase, takes the train to work, blah, 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 right? And you have this crazy one very, very niche market, which I'm going to recommend that you do, but that doesn't mean that people that are outside of your niche market don't get started with you. This just allows you to efficiently speak through your emails, efficiently speak to your audience in a true voice of who you are. It also enables you to laser target your marketing. So for example, last week, remember that I had a very, very, very targeted marketing message to a very, very targeted audience on Facebook. And wouldn't you know, right? Because that was completely and 100% laser focused targeted, I got spectacular results. And obviously, I hope all of you are going through that Facebook training. And if you have questions, come to us because that's really been a huge bonanza for Don and I and so many other people on our team. And congratulations to those of you that have already implemented what we taught last week. So I have a couple of real quick PowerPoint slides because I just want to make sure that I stay on track. I do PowerPoint, as those of you that are all in masters know, because I say this in the webinar. I do a little PowerPoint for two reasons. One, because it keeps me on track, because otherwise I could sit here talking for the next 45 minutes, and we don't want to be on the webinar that long. And number two, because people learn in different ways. I am a visual learner. Some people are audio learners. I like to appeal to both. Plus, I think that this will give you a good place to take some notes. I'm going to go through what you do to identify your perfect prospect, and then I'm going to send you off sometime this week. Sit down quietly with a pen and piece of paper and make it out. And as a result of what I'm going to share with you today, make an outline of who that perfect prospect is. And again, and then after I go through the whole two slides that I have on the PowerPoint, then I'm going to give you an example. I'll show you a couple of examples of what Don and I have done to target our message. So hold on one second while I do this beautiful screen share. I tell you, Google Hangouts is a pain in the patootie. Okay, so there are four things you can do, excuse me, to identify your ideal prospect. Don, just making sure you can see my PowerPoint. I can't hear you.
Yes, I was
Okay,
muted.
Thanks. Awesome. So first of all, look at your team, right? Who on your team is kicking butt? Who on your team is passing you sales? Who on your team is actively engaging in their business? And that can be even somebody that is brand new, that is coming to you with questions, that's active on Skype, maybe in the Facebook group. You can hear them introducing themselves on the calls. And so you know that person is in action. So who are they? What kind of person are they? And you can think, are they stay-at-home moms? Are they natural leaders? Are they good communicators? Just look at your team and your customer base and figure out who those people are, who brings in the most money, and that'll give you a hint. It isn't necessarily the perfect identifier, but it'll give you a hint at what your ideal prospect might be. The next thing you can do is check out people like you online. Now, for those, you guys are all in Empower Network, I believe, your competition isn't necessarily the other folks in Empower Network, right? It could be somebody else online that is promoting a product very similar, or a business, or fill in the blank, similar to you. Who are they targeting, right? And there's ways that you can go about kind of snooping on people, right? I look at a bunch of the leaders here, and I, snoop online, and I run into their advertising here and there, and I figure out who they're targeting, right? And then there's some people that don't, but I just think that it's wrong. I think it's a huge waste of your money just to go to everybody, right? Because it's, again, like asking, I want a recipe. Like, what? I don't even know what you want, right? The next thing you're going to want to do is analyze your product and service, right? Here, any business, and we're talking specifically about Empower Network, this is huge. This is really broad. So if you're just going to go, let's say, for example, that you are just going to market the blog to business owners, right? That is a huge marketplace. So maybe you say brick and mortar business owners, and then maybe you say dentists, and then maybe you say periodontists, and then maybe you say periodontists in California, for example. And so you see where I'm going with this, right? Stay-at-home moms is a huge, broad category, but maybe you're going to speak to let's say that I had children, maybe you'd speak to ex-corporate executive, six-figure income earner, wants to stay home with their children, and I want to strongly interrupt myself here. You do not want to go after a niche that is completely foreign to you, and it is not you. And I'll explain why in a little bit. Just figure out. It's just super easy here, right? You could say anybody that's looking to make extra money would benefit from Empower. Of course they would. But again, you would be shooting out like into this huge universe of people, right? So narrow down who that is for you. And the most important exercise that I would strongly advise you guys to do when you're spending a half an hour identifying who your perfect prospect is figure out who you are, right? This is part of our growth here and our spiritual growth and our personal development at Empower Network. Figure out who you are, because probably the best person on your team and your perfect prospect is probably very, very, very similar to you. Now, you don't have to use all of these different, you don't have to specify a person's occupation or their gender or their age, but I just wrote these prompts down here to give you an idea of how you might describe your perfect prospect. So over time, Don and I know who our perfect prospect is, because our perfect prospect is someone like us, right? So there's someone that, here, let me get you back to me. There's someone that are typical, and that this doesn't hold true across the board because we've got all kinds of people on the team, but the person that I speak to and Don speaks to in our marketing typically, and in our advertising, and in our emails, etc., is somebody that was sick and tired of corporate America and it was damn determined to make a change. Typically, they're a little bit older, not just because of the way it is, and has achieved some great success in the past, are eloquent, has had many successes in the past, and is looking to make at least a multiple six-figure income. So we know that that's our perfect prospect, so every time we're writing emails, et cetera, we're writing emails to that prospect. Moreover, and here's another cautionary tale, I see a lot of you out there making these perfect emails, and they're really long, and nobody reads those. Sorry, nobody reads those. So I've actually had to get over myself, right, a little bit. And sometimes I do. I send out long emails on occasion. When we announced Project Lifestyle, I sent out a very long email because I just wanted to articulate our mission. But you don't have to do that. You can get your point across and be professional, or however you want to be to your perfect prospect in a very short email. I'll tell you a quick story. Some of you might have heard this before. When I don't know, this was many years ago, one of the we thought would be an ideal customer of ours would be a stay-at-home mom. So we went and advertised on workathomemoms.com, WAHM.com. And while we got a bunch of leads, we didn't make one sale. And we advertised on there, Don, I don't know, how many times did we do that? I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months. I think I tried again a couple of years ago. And the reason is that, again, we weren't speaking that person's language. Don's laughing. We're not speaking that person's language, right? We're not stay-at-home moms, right? So you're going to want to make sure that you are really thinking about where you're going to spend your marketing money. I'll give you some examples of what we're doing here. Let's see if I can share my screen. My screen share. And Don, you're going to have to tell me if you can see this website, betternetworker.com. Can you see that, Don?
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't do it right. So hold on. Da-da-da! Let's try this one. Screen share. Now can you see Better Networker?
Yes.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to give you 3 examples of where we're advertising, just so that you know. Obviously, we're a really great fit with people that are networkers. So we have a banner on this page, which is really needs to be changed because I don't know what happened to that banner. So just give here it is, right? We're baby boomers. So on this website called boomion.com, we have a banner here. And because we've lived this crazy lifestyle where we've lived all over the world, we also want to, we have a really bad banner on, what is this, Escape Normal. This is a website that is geared towards people that like to, guess what, escape normal. They want to go and pack and live the laptop lifestyle. We've got this crappy banner, which reminds me I need to change this tomorrow too. We have this crappy banner running on this site, but my point is, just like the Solve ads on my Facebook training last week, these are highly targeted places where they're in alignment with what we're specifically looking for ourselves. Let me look and see if there's any questions that we have. Hey, Karla and Don. Hey, Shannon. Shannon's always in buffer mode. Okay, so guys, I told you this would be a really short training. Don, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate the bit about making sure that you keep it short, that you don't pick a place to advertise that you think will be really great if you can't relate to the people that will be there, like we did with work-at-home moms, time after time after time. And trust me when I say I don't look like a work-at-home mom, I ain't going to sell it there.
Yeah, it just wasn't a good fit for us. Even though it was a good fit for our business, it wasn't in alignment with who we are. So here's the work, guys. The work is the introspection, because I can't do the work for you in this webinar, but this is just critical foundational work for you. Who are you? And who is your ideal person for you to work with? What do they do in their time off? What are their interests? What kind of things, do they know anything about internet marketing or not, right? Or do they love horses? Do they like gardening? If you go through this exercise, then you can speak to that person every single day in your marketing. You can go after them on websites that, for example, I'll give you an example. On one of my teams in a prior business, I had a woman that she loved to ride. She was a horseman. She just loved horses. She had I think she had a stable, and she played polo and a bunch of other stuff. So she just wrote and advertised and spoke her voice and her passion for what she did in her spare time, and she attracted all kinds of people, but her key people were people that were just like her, right? So your best prospect is probably going to be somebody just as cool as you are already. So I'm looking down here if there are any Nancy, I don't send, these are all video presentations, so you can, I guess I could send, if people want I mean, it's really 2 slides. You can watch this video and take some quick notes. There were 5 whole things that I wrote in the slides, and I'll go over them real quick. Number 1 was look at your current customer base. Who are they and who brings in the most money? Number 2 is check out your competition and who they're targeting. Number 3 was make sure that your product is in alignment with somebody that wants it. For example, you're probably not going to market in Power Network to Subway franchise owners, right? Because they're probably already knee-deep in debt all the way, right, and aren't going to move. So who are you and who's your perfect partner? Age, location, gender. I don't want to give you too many hints there, because if I put too much info in your head, it's going to, what's the word I'm going to look, that I'm looking for? It's really going to slant the way you write out who your perfect partner is. And I take that idea of who that perfect person is every time I'm writing an email, every time I'm placing an ad. I'm looking to attract that perfect professional person that's here, that's going to get busy, that's going to do exactly, be in integrity with the 8 core commitments, so that they can have the kind of results that all of you are having and we're having, right? That's all it takes. Really, there's nothing more complicated than that. Let me look for another question. I guess this is the easy one, right? Oh, let's look at SurveyMonkey so I can give you an idea of what is coming up next week. If you want to put in the comments, if anybody has requests for specific advertising training, please put those in the comments while I look this up. According to your the marketing training that you requested, next week should be video advertising, which is actually perfect. I have beautiful video advertising training for you, and Kim, unless you want something else, so let me look and see. Kim, she goes, I don't know if I can find anybody as cool as I am. I love you, Kim. That's awesome. I don't know if I can find anybody that is more productive than you, actually, Kim. I got to take my hat off to you. This girl does 400 million things and does them all well. So congratulations to you. So next week is going to be video training. Tell your friends, tell your team. This one's going to be a good one. And if anybody wants to find the Facebook training, I put it up. It's in your Empower Network back office in your feed. And you can also find it on our blog, and you can also find it on my YouTube channel. Don, any last comments?
Last comments. Tune in to Dave at the top of the hour coming up. We have Aaron Rashkin on the Empower Hour tonight. He is worth a listen to because he always has amazing information. Tomorrow morning on Wake Up to Success call is none other than I can't say it.
It's Elena Fraga.
The Latina goddess is coming out. The leaderboard queen. We'll talk about stuff. Wednesday, Tony and I are swapping in the morning, so I will be up Wednesday morning for your Wake Up to Success. With homework, with stuff to do, even though everybody's going to be in Charlotte, there will be homework.
Awesome, guys. See you in the Empower Hour in just over a half an hour. Yep. Live your very, very, very best life. Big love from us to you. Make it a great day.